You, your body weight, and the road. That's it. The greatest fighters built their legacies from the ground up on 3 very simple pillars that require absolutely zero machines. Over the next few minutes, we're going to master these pillars across 3 distinct training days. It's just going to be you, your body weight, your rhythm, and the road. This is the entire playbook, laid out step by step for you to run anywhere on absolutely any budget.
All right, let's jump right into it. Day 1, the engine. This phase is all about your foundation. 6 to 10 miles executed before your gym training even starts. And yeah, I said before. We call this the Stevenson phase, named after the legendary Teofilo Stevenson, an absolute monster who won 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals. I need you to understand that this aerobic work isn't some casual warm-up jog. It's the structural support for your entire fight game. Without this massive aerobic base, your strength is going to break down the second fatigue sets in, your technique will completely fall apart in the later rounds when your lungs are on fire, and your recovery will just slow to a crawl. This base is the structure holding you up.
So how do we actually execute this? First, you start with a steady aerobic pace. You're just building that cardiovascular foundation. Second, right in the middle of the run, you shift into tempo intervals, pushing harder for controlled stretches. And third, the finisher, hill sprints on exhausted legs. The logic here is super deliberate. You are not sprinting fresh. You are training your engine to produce explosive power when it's already running on fumes. That perfectly simulates exactly what you'll face in the championship rounds of a fight.
3. That is the absolute minimum number of weeks you are required to build that steady aerobic base before you even think about adding those hill sprints to the back end of your run. Look, I'm blowing the whistle right here as your coach. This is non-negotiable. Build the base first. If you go out tomorrow and sprint on an unconditioned engine, well, congratulations, you've just earned yourself shin splints and a solid week icing on the couch. Injury prevention here is not a suggestion. It's a strict, hard-line rule. Stevenson didn't build his engine overnight. Base first, intensity follows later. Moving on. Day 2, the armor. This is our Felix Savon phase. The man was an absolute tank who won 3 Olympic golds and was still destroying guys at an elite level well into his late 30s. We're running a brutal bodyweight circuit. Push-ups, pull-ups, squats, dips, core work, and explosive jumps. No barbells, no cable machines, just pure, functional strength built by moving your own body through space. Let's break down the programming tiers. If you're a beginner, you just need to survive 3 rounds of this circuit with 60 seconds of rest. That means hitting 15 push-ups, 5 pull-ups, 20 squats, 10 dips, 20 core reps, and 10 jumps, round after round. But if you're aiming to be a competitive fighter, your target is 5 full rounds, maximum reps, and you're slashing that rest down to 30 seconds or less. Volume is your load here. Density is your progression. Now you might be wondering, Coach, how do I force growth without pumping iron? It's simple. First, you add reps to your sets. Second, you cut down your rest time. Third, you add more total rounds to the circuit. Progressive overload absolutely still applies here. We're just pulling different levers to make you stronger.
And I need you to hear this loud and clear. Volume earned through bad mechanics doesn't build strength. It builds injury patterns. When you're deep in that 5th round and your muscles are screaming at you, your form is desperately going to want to break. Do not let it.
Which brings us to another non-negotiable mandate. Full range of motion on every single rep. Stop the set when your form breaks. The Cuban system never traded depth for volume. Honestly, a half rep push-up is just an empty rep. If your form starts breaking down, you stop the set immediately. I demand perfect execution every single time, or you're literally just training your body to be broken.
All right, final phase, day 3, longevity.
We call this the Rigondeaux Show protocol, inspired by Guillermo Rigondeaux, a fighter who is moving with absolute fluidity at 41 years old. The secret to training 6 days a week isn't just being tough, it's recovery. Here is your step-by-step flow. Joint circles for the ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders. Then hip openers. Next, thoracic rotations to free up your mid-spine and rib cage. And finally, active leg swings. This precise 15 to 20-minute dynamic flow repairs your body before you ever load it again. This is how you show up ready to work, instead of carrying all the damage from yesterday. Once you're mobilized, we hit skill and rhythm. We're doing complex, rhythm-based rope skipping, alternating feet, lateral hops, double unders. Beginners, you start with short rope rounds and 10 minutes of shadow boxing on solid ground, but you need to strive for that competitive tier. 12 solid minutes of fast feet on the rope,
followed by 25 minutes of shadow boxing with a partner mirror to really dial in your spatial awareness.
And check this out, surface variation shadow boxing. You're not doing this on a comfortable, pristine gym mat. You're getting out on dirt, sand, or grass. Why? Because moving on an unstable surface forces these constant, tiny micro-adjustments through your ankles and feet. It builds unparalleled lower leg stability and proprioception that absolutely no machine in the world can ever replicate. My final hard-line warning for you. Mobility is a structural requirement. Skip it and you will break, literally. It's not some optional warm-up for when you have extra time. If you try to run a 6-day training frequency and you treat this mobility work like a suggestion, something, a joint, a tendon, a muscle, is going to snap within weeks. Just don't skip it.
Okay, bringing it all together, the 6-day challenge.
Start with one 3-day cycle. Earn the right to the second cycle. Look, we've built the engine, forged the armor, and locked in your longevity. The ultimate goal is to do these 3 days back-to-back twice a week. That's your 6-day frequency. But listen to me carefully. You do not start there. You start with one 3-day cycle. You have to earn the right to unlock that second cycle through pure consistency, flawless mechanics, and proving your body can fully recover.
So, that's the playbook. The road, the bodyweight circuits, the sand, the discipline. It doesn't care what level you're fighting at. The work either gets done or it doesn't. It's a total equalizer. So I'll leave you with this direct challenge. Are you ready to build an engine that never runs out? Step up, drop the excuses about gear, and execute the playbook starting tomorrow. Let's get to work.